The city of Atlantis, a legendary civilization that has long captivated the imagination of people across cultures and centuries, remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The earliest known mention of Atlantis comes from the writings of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who described the city in two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, written around the 4th century BC. According to Plato, Atlantis was an advanced and prosperous civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a term believed to refer to the Strait of Gibraltar, which marks the boundary between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Plato's accounts portray Atlantis as a powerful island nation, rich in resources, technology, and culture. The city itself was said to be a marvel of engineering, with grand palaces, extensive canals, and lush gardens. Its inhabitants were described as noble and virtuous, living in harmony with their environment. However, according to Plato, over time, the Atlanteans became morally corrupt and greedy, leading to their eventual downfall. The gods, displeased with their behavior, caused Atlantis to sink into the ocean in a single day and night of catastrophic events, disappearing from the surface of the earth forever. Plato's story has intrigued scholars, historians, and adventurers alike, prompting countless theories about the possible location and existence of Atlantis. Some believe the city might have been situated in the Mediterranean, while others suggest it could be found in the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean, or even Antarctica. Despite extensive searches and research, no definitive evidence has ever been found to confirm the existence of Atlantis, leaving its story as a compelling enigma that continues to spark debates and imagination to this day. Whether a mere allegory created by Plato to convey moral lessons about the dangers of hubris and the fall of civilizations, or a real lost city, the myth of Atlantis has endured throughout history, influencing literature, art, and popular culture for millennia. According to Plato, Atlantis was not merely a powerful civilization but a beacon of prosperity, innovation, and unparalleled cultural achievement. It was said to be located on a vast and intricate network of islands, each one strategically positioned and connected by a system of deep trenches and navigable waterways. The geography of Atlantis was as extraordinary as its society. The central island contained a grand capital city, with magnificent palaces, temples, and vast fields, all enclosed by concentric rings of land and water, making it an architectural and engineering marvel. The people of Atlantis were described as strong, intelligent, and resourceful, with great wealth derived from their control of valuable resources, such as metals, timber, and precious stones. Their technological advancements, including sophisticated irrigation systems, advanced naval fleets, and elaborate urban planning, demonstrated an unmatched level of development for their time. In terms of culture, Atlantis was portrayed as a utopia. Its citizens lived in harmony with nature and adhered to strict moral codes. The Atlanteans were led by a ruling class of kings, descendants of the gods, who governed the islands with wisdom and fairness. The society was structured with a clear hierarchy, yet it was said that all members shared in the benefits of the city's wealth and prosperity. Education, arts, and sciences flourished, and the Atlanteans were known for their remarkable achievements in various fields, from architecture to philosophy. They were believed to have had a deep understanding of the cosmos and even the workings of nature, which they integrated into their daily lives. However, as Plato's account unfolds, the virtues of Atlantis began to erode over time. The people, once virtuous and just, grew increasingly corrupt, driven by an insatiable lust for power and wealth. The Atlanteans became prideful, believing that their strength and technological prowess made them invincible. This arrogance led them to challenge the gods themselves, believing they could control the forces of nature and fate. Their moral decline, fueled by greed and desire for domination, angered the gods, who had once favored Atlantis. In response to this moral decay, the gods decided to punish Atlantis. In a single day and night of unimaginable destruction, they unleashed their wrath. The earth trembled with powerful earthquakes, and massive tsunamis surged over the land, drowning the cities and swallowing the islands whole. The once glorious civilization was obliterated, disappearing beneath the ocean in a cataclysmic event so sudden and violent that it left no trace behind. The city of Atlantis, with all its wealth, knowledge, and splendor, was lost forever to the depths of the ocean, and the civilization's memory was reduced to legend. This story, as told by Plato, has fueled centuries of speculation and intrigue. Some scholars believe it was a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and the inevitable downfall of those who fail to respect divine power. Others contend that Plato was describing a real event, possibly inspired by ancient natural disasters or the fall of other civilizations. Regardless of its origin, the myth of Atlantis endures, symbolizing the fragility of human achievement and the potential consequences of moral and societal corruption. Throughout history, Plato's description of Atlantis has sparked a great deal of debate and speculation. The central question that continues to captivate both scholars and enthusiasts alike is whether Atlantis was merely a myth, a fictional tale created by Plato for philosophical or moral purposes, or if there is some kernel of truth behind the story of a lost civilization. Plato himself never explicitly stated whether Atlantis was real or symbolic, leaving room for various interpretations and theories. Some believe that his account was a cautionary allegory, meant to illustrate the dangers of hubris, corruption, and the fall of societies, while others argue that it was based on real events or a forgotten historical reality. Theories attempting to pinpoint the location of Atlantis have proliferated over the centuries, with scholars, adventurers, and archaeologists offering various suggestions based on Plato's descriptions. One prominent theory places Atlantis in the Mediterranean Sea, near the Greek island of Santorini, which was the site of a massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. This eruption is believed to have caused the collapse of the Minoan civilization, one of the advanced societies of the time. Some proponents of this theory suggest that the eruption, along with subsequent tsunamis, could have led to the destruction of a flourishing civilization, leaving a memory of a lost city in the minds of future generations. The Minoans themselves were known for their impressive architecture and advanced technology, which some argue could have been misinterpreted by later generations as the grandeur of Atlantis. Others, however, point to the Atlantic Ocean as the true location of Atlantis. According to this theory, the civilization could have been situated near the Azores or Canary Islands, which are located in the central Atlantic. Proponents of this idea often draw attention to the description in Plato's dialogues, where he mentions that Atlantis was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a reference to the Strait of Gibraltar. They argue that these islands could have been the remnants of a large landmass that sank into the ocean, possibly due to seismic activity or changes in sea levels. Additionally, the alignment of the Azores with Plato's description of the geographical features of Atlantis, such as concentric rings of water and land, has led some to believe that these islands are a prime candidate for the lost city. Further theories have suggested locations as far-reaching as the Caribbean, the coast of South America, and even Antarctica. Some argue that the concept of Atlantis could be linked to ancient sunken cities, such as those described in Native American or Caribbean oral traditions. These theories often propose that the catastrophic event Plato described could have been a result of a global environmental disaster, such as rising sea levels or a comet impact, that affected multiple regions and caused widespread destruction. Meanwhile, fringe theories suggest that Atlantis could be hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica, with some claiming that the ice sheet may have only covered the area in relatively recent geological history, allowing for the possibility of a once thriving civilization that has since been buried. Despite the many theories, no conclusive evidence has ever been found to support the existence of Atlantis. Archaeological explorations in various regions have failed to uncover any definitive ruins or artifacts that could be attributed to the lost city. Theories about Atlantis, however, continue to be a subject of fascination and speculation, blending historical analysis, mythological interpretation, and a yearning to uncover one of history's most enduring mysteries. Whether Atlantis was real or purely a myth, it remains a symbol of the fragility of civilizations and the timeless allure of lost worlds, continuing to inspire countless generations to seek answers. Despite centuries of fascination and countless investigations, no conclusive evidence has ever been found to prove the existence of Atlantis. Numerous attempts have been made to uncover the remains of the legendary city, from underwater searches to exploring submerged ruins and examining geological features that could potentially be linked to the lost civilization. Underwater expeditions have explored the depths of the Mediterranean and Atlantic Oceans, attempting to locate ancient structures or sunken cities that could correspond to Plato's detailed descriptions. However, these efforts have yet to yield any definitive, tangible results that would support the claim that Atlantis was a real, physical place. The absence of such findings has led many to question whether the story of Atlantis was merely a myth or allegory, rather than a historical account. Some researchers remain convinced that Atlantis may have existed, albeit in a form different from the one Plato described. They argue that the ancient world was home to highly advanced civilizations that have since vanished without a trace, and that Atlantis could have been one such society. Supporters of this view often point to the existence of other ancient cultures with remarkable achievements, such as the Egyptians, the Sumerians, or the Minoans, which suggest that humanity's early history may have been far more complex and technologically advanced than previously thought. They theorize that the remains of Atlantis could be buried beneath layers of sediment, either due to natural disasters, such as volcanic eruptions or earthquakes, or over millennia of environmental changes. In this sense, they believe the idea of a sunken city might be rooted in some kernel of truth, reflecting a civilization that existed long before recorded history and eventually disappeared due to a cataclysmic event. On the other hand, a significant portion of scholars and critics contend that Atlantis was purely a creation of Plato's imagination, invented as a cautionary tale or moral allegory. According to this perspective, Atlantis was never intended to be a literal or historical account, but rather a symbolic narrative crafted to illustrate themes of hubris, moral decline, and the consequences of unchecked power. Plato's descriptions of the city, including its highly sophisticated technology, moral ideals, and eventual downfall, could be seen as a reflection of his views on the dangers of societal corruption and the fragility of civilizations. The sheer grandeur and utopian nature of Atlantis, coupled with its sudden and dramatic destruction, make it a fitting metaphor for the inevitable decline of any society that strays too far from virtue. In this light, the story of Atlantis may have been an idealized representation of Plato's philosophical ideals, used to teach lessons about the importance of justice, moderation, and humility. The debate over Atlantis's existence continues to be a subject of intense discussion, with no definitive resolution in sight. For some, the lack of evidence only fuels the mystery and allure of the legend, adding to its mystique and making it a timeless enigma that continues to captivate the imagination of people worldwide. For others, the absence of proof suggests that the story may never have been meant to be anything more than a fictional tale, crafted to convey moral lessons rather than historical facts. Regardless of its true origin, the myth of Atlantis endures as one of history's most enduring and debated legends, symbolizing humanity's desire to uncover lost knowledge and understand the rise and fall of great civilizations. On the other hand, some speculative theories propose that Atlantis was not merely an advanced civilization by ancient standards, but one that possessed extraordinary technologies far beyond what was known in Plato's time. These theories often draw from the realm of science fiction, suggesting that the Atlanteans may have had access to advanced energy sources, such as free energy, or even destructive technologies that could rival modern weaponry. The idea of free energy, in particular, has captured the imagination of many, as it implies that the Atlanteans could have harnessed an inexhaustible, clean power source that would have revolutionized their society. In such a scenario, Atlantis could have achieved an unprecedented level of technological, economic, and cultural development, with the potential to reshape the world in ways unimaginable to contemporary civilizations. Furthermore, some proponents of this theory argue that the Atlanteans might have developed weapons of mass destruction, such as energy-based weapons or devices capable of causing catastrophic environmental damage. These weapons, they speculate, could have been misused, leading to the very destruction of Atlantis. The idea that Atlantis destroyed itself through the misuse of advanced technology mirrors modern fears about the potential consequences of nuclear or environmental catastrophes, suggesting that the downfall of Atlantis may have been a warning about the dangers of technological arrogance and the ethical responsibility that comes with power. This interpretation draws parallels with the modern age, where humanity is grappling with the potential misuse of technologies like nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, and genetic engineering. The notion that Atlantis was an ancient society with futuristic technologies aligns with certain interpretations of ancient texts, where references to powerful weapons or mysterious forces are often presented as part of a broader mythological narrative. Some have even connected these ideas with the concept of lost knowledge, suggesting that the Atlanteans possessed an understanding of natural forces or energy systems that has been lost to history. According to these theories, the Atlanteans' inability to wield their power responsibly may have been their ultimate downfall, with the catastrophic destruction of their city serving as a cautionary tale about the consequences of unchecked technological advancement and the dangers of losing balance between progress and wisdom. Additionally, this speculative view of Atlantis has led to the idea that the remnants of such technologies may still be hidden, buried beneath the ocean, or encoded in ancient symbols and myths that modern societies have yet to fully decode. Some theorists have even suggested that the knowledge of these advanced technologies could have been passed down to other ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians or the Sumerians, whose pyramids and temples are sometimes seen as evidence of lost knowledge. Others point to the possible existence of ancient artifacts or ruins, like the so-called Bosnian pyramids or underwater structures near the Azores, that may represent remnants of this lost technological age. While these ideas remain speculative and highly controversial, they continue to contribute to the allure of the Atlantis myth. They tap into humanity's fascination with the possibilities of advanced, forgotten technologies and the fear that our own progress may one day lead to self-destruction. In many ways, these speculative theories serve as a modern reinterpretation of Plato's original tale, with Atlantis not only representing a lost civilization but also embodying humanity's complex relationship with technology, power, and the consequences of overreaching ambition. While the mystery of Atlantis remains unsolved, the legend continues to captivate the minds of scholars, historians, archaeologists, and explorers alike. The idea that a once great civilization could have vanished beneath the oceans, swallowed by the sea in a cataclysmic event, remains one of the most intriguing and enduring puzzles in human history. This mystery touches upon our deepest curiosities about the ancient world, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the potential for lost knowledge that may forever be hidden beneath the waves. For centuries, Atlantis has fueled both scholarly research and adventurous expeditions, with many dedicated to uncovering what could be the greatest archaeological discovery of all time. Despite these efforts, however, no conclusive evidence has yet emerged to prove its existence, leading some to wonder whether Atlantis was ever a real place or merely a powerful allegory crafted by Plato to convey moral lessons about the dangers of hubris and corruption. As the search for Atlantis continues, the question remains: could this ancient city, so richly described by Plato, have truly vanished beneath the oceans? Or is it simply a legend that grew out of human imagination and myth? Some researchers believe that Atlantis might have been a real civilization that existed thousands of years ago, perhaps in a form that is now beyond recognition due to the ravages of time, natural disasters, or environmental changes. Others maintain that Atlantis is a product of Plato's philosophy, designed to illustrate the moral decline of a once perfect society and the consequences of overreaching power. Yet, regardless of its true origin, the fascination with Atlantis persists, constantly fueling new theories and inspiring explorations into some of the world's most mysterious and uncharted waters. The idea that the truth about Atlantis might one day be uncovered is a tantalizing thought. As technology advances, our ability to explore the ocean floor, uncover submerged cities, and decipher ancient texts grows exponentially. Technologies like sonar mapping, deep-sea diving, and underwater archaeology open up new frontiers for discovery, potentially bringing us closer to finding tangible evidence of Atlantis or discovering new lost civilizations. Perhaps one day, a shipwreck, a sunken ruin, or a buried artifact could finally provide the proof needed to solve the puzzle once and for all. Until then, the search for Atlantis is far from over, and the mystery continues to inspire both academic curiosity and the adventurous spirit of explorers. In the meantime, Atlantis remains a symbol of humanity's desire to uncover lost knowledge, understand the past, and perhaps learn from the mistakes of those who came before us. The notion that a highly advanced civilization could have risen and fallen, leaving behind only myth and fragments of a once great legacy, serves as both a cautionary tale and a source of wonder. As we continue to search for answers, the mystery of Atlantis will undoubtedly continue to capture our collective imagination, driving us to explore the depths of both the ocean and our understanding of history, technology, and the human condition. Whether we ever find the truth or not, the story of Atlantis will likely remain one of the greatest puzzles of human civilization, keeping us enthralled and pushing us to seek more answers as time marches forward. In the end, Atlantis stands as a symbol of the legends that endure through the ages, a story that may be a myth but carries with it a profound lesson about the power of nature and the consequences of pride and greed.